went on a 3,500-mile trip across the northern part of America to record Foley and ambience. These kinds of samples have always been hard for me to find in abundance, and I'm really tired of going to the first result on YouTube for whatever random sound effect I'm looking for. So I bought a field recorder, and I traveled to Chicago, Yellowstone, the Mall of America, and I even risked my life storm chasing in Nebraska to build a good library of foliage. I wasn't about to do this trip alone, so I brought along my friend Jordan. He's an audio student, and he also likes making funny noises. We met up, hopped into his Kia Soul, and set off on our 4-day journey across 11 states with waterfalls, big cities, and whatever else we can find in the abundance of fields.
Wave check.
For reference, 3,500 miles is the same distance as going from New York to LA and then back to my hometown of Fort Collins, Colorado, which is actually where we started our journey. Oh, who would have thought? Day 1 was spent mostly in Wyoming and Montana. Our plan was to make our first big stop in Cheyenne and then head all the way to Woodbine Falls on the southwest side of Montana. But we started running behind schedule and ended up going to Yellowstone Falls instead. While we were in Cheyenne, we went to where all great adventures start, Walmart. We bought a random assortment of items for Foley to record later on, like fire starters, a shit ton of celery, and eggs, which will come back later. From there, we went to an antique shop in downtown Cheyenne where we got infatuated with a typewriter. We bought a whip to record whip whizzing and cracking noises. Apparently the whip we bought was used for horse riding back in the day, but now it has a better home. Then lastly, in Cheyenne, we stopped at the train depot in hopes of finding some cool interactable train-related devices, but instead we found a coin smasher that kept us plenty entertained. On the way to Yellowstone, we stopped in a tunnel somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. The echo of tunnels like these allows for a really cool, unique, natural reverb. Also, these tunnels are really good at creating strong gusts of wind. People like to honk their horns going through there, and somebody did that as I was recording, and it scared me. After our pit stop there, we continued to push northwest.
Yellowstone National Park. The lake behind me one day will blow up and kill everybody. Yay!
Woo! Yellowstone is absolutely fucking beautiful. I sat on the shore of the lake for a while and captured the waves before setting sail to the upper falls on the northwest side of the national park.
We're jammed in traffic. What's up? So here we are. Oh my goodness. Woo! Can confirm. Water obeys gravity. You feel like falling because you're watching everything rush down. Also, it's blurry. Fuck.
Day 2 comprised of 3 states, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see much of Wisconsin since I was but I can assure you Minnesota was beautiful. Then there was North Dakota. All I remember was the wind.
I'm gonna be in the Emerald City soon.
An important gimmick for these states that mostly comprise of farmland is the world's largest tourist attraction, where these middle-of-nowhere towns get a statue of a random, and I mean random object, and call it the world's largest object. We stopped at a stretch of highway called the Enchanted Highway, which is a group of statues that fit into this category, and I'm beyond surprised by the fact that they just haven't blown the fuck away. I tried to record some stuff there, but most of the recordings just ended up sounding like wind. Also, apparently when you get closer to the northern border, they start to fly the Canadian flag, which I didn't know. The constant struggle to create an appeal for this part of the world then landed us in Bismarck, North Dakota, at the site of the only roller coaster in the state, which the location likes to promote on their Instagram.
Bruh, who left their grandma here?
We stole some dead leaves and charcoal from a nearby park to record later for Foley, and then we started to travel again. Before we got to Minneapolis, we decided to take a stop in this city called Fergus Falls, which has a pretty river running through the middle of town with an, I believe, hydroelectric dam at the top. Me and Jordan stopped there to walk through the downtown nature area, and we were also looking to see a larger antique store in the town, but when we arrived, it was fucking closed on a weekday in the middle of the day, so we settled for a smaller one nearby. There we found some other old metal objects and another typewriter. Then it was time for the main event.
This is a mall. There's an amusement park in this mall.
I swear, if I ever go on a trip like this again, I will go back to the Mall of America. It was crazy how many attractions of their size they managed to get into that building. The Nickelodeon theme park was kinda sick.
It's never ending.
There were too many shops, and it all looked really entertaining, but we arrived only a couple hours before close, and I only had one thing on my mind. I was destined to go to the Rainforest Cafe. Two YouTubers I love, Eddie Burback and Ted Nivison, recently went on a road trip of their own to every single Rainforest Cafe in North America. Their journey was really inspiring to me. In fact, it kind of partly inspired this whole video, and since Mall of America was home to the first Rainforest Cafe, it felt right to pay tribute by joining in their suffering and recording all the audio from my entire stay at that dining location. All 3 thunderstorms we experienced, all the ambience of animatronic tigers growling are part of my sample library now, as well as the conversation I had with Jordan about how I was on the verge of puking as we left the restaurant. Mall America was 10 out of 10. Just can't go back to the Rainforest Cafe.
Goodbye, mall. Bruh. The mini Ha Ha Falls is surrounded by a park. We're here at night.
Day 3 started at a big lake.
Is this the Lake Superior?
I kept forgetting which one it was, but eventually I learned that it was Lake Michigan. We were along the southern shore of the top half of Michigan, and we drove along for a good while capturing some of the sounds of the lake. Eventually we reached the top, and that was where our next major location was for our trip.
Alrighty, so we just crossed the Mackinac Bridge, which is a bridge that goes from the bottom island all the way over there.
The sound of Jordan's car going over the bridge was an unexpected treat. The vibrations of car tires going over different terrain is used all the time in the real world with rumble strips. But whatever metal plating was used on the road in the Mackinac Bridge made for an awesome sound. Next, we landed ourselves in Lansing, Michigan. Now, you may ask, why Lansing? Well,
first of all, Detroit is stinky. Second of all, I have a friend. Hi!
My good friend Cheap Thrill showed us around his hometown, took us to a couple good spots to record some cool noises. There's basically a podcast's worth of conversation in the pack as well.
Here we see Tyler failing.
We talked about how to do vandalism and a little bit about the MSU campus.
What you saying?
That's true, I got a full combo in your mom last night. Oh, just kidding, it was your dad.
We also utilized Cameron's silly little closet as the quiet place to record Foley of the objects we've been picking up along the way. We destroyed the celery, smashed a bottle of Calypso with a hammer, messed with a bunch of broken ceramic bowls I had, ripped a bunch of duct tape, and smashed some eggs all over the place.
We were smashing eggs, and man's got egg everywhere. Oh no.
Look at this, it's on me. It got on my shirt, it got on my shorts, it got on my shoes.
No. Oh.
Also, Jordan caught up on some sleep while me and Cameron went to view and record some local hockey.
Now we're on our way to Chicago, and we have a sleepy boy on our case. We're in Chicago at 5 a.m. We're recording Chicago noises.
Day 4, Chicago was rough. We arrived quite early, most places weren't open yet, and we left early since most of the places we wanted to go were closed for Lollapalooza setup. So after that, it was time for our journey back west, straight towards Colorado. We stopped in a few interesting locations along the way, like the world's largest truck stop. Jordan loves gimmicks, and a regular truck stop is enough to get him excited. The world's largest truck stop had him raging at me, because I hate gimmicks. So after recording some trucks and ambient shopper noise, we took our food and dipped towards Des Moines. There, I walked through a shopping center to record the birds, and we also went to the beacon of American activities, Bass Pro Shop. I recorded the audio of Jordan being stopped by a spokesperson, getting him to sign up for a vacation sweepstakes, as well as me dancing through some wind chimes in the store. We also discovered this Bass Pro Shop had bowling. Jordan has some random ass skills. He's good at golf for some reason, he's way better than me at computer hardware stuff, and I also found out he's really good at bowling.
Hands went off at the end, what the fuck?
Is this the beginning of a tornado forming in the middle of Nebraska?
Yeah, this should develop into a huge storm.
Look at that. That has to be a tornado. That green has to be one tornado. It's the edge of the storm chasing it down so hard. All right, we're filling up our Storm Chaser 9000 car.
Storm Chaser 500.
500.
This is, you gotta make sure the good armor.
Good armor. Bulletproof glass.
That's how we get the weather information, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're zeroing in on this storm. It looks pretty gray over there. I might see a tornado or something. Yeah, this one only looks to be about half a mile. Looks like the storm is a grower, not a shower. Let's go!
Billions of dollars in property damage and well over 500 dead.
It's a worm.
Now, a reminder to all my fellow storm chasers out there, it is less dangerous to go into the storm at nighttime because you can't see the tornadoes, and if you can't see them coming, they're less of a danger to you. I promise that's how it works. It's like Santa Claus. He only exists when you see him. Temperature drop is about 4 degrees Fahrenheit. The clouds have gotten about 6% darker and bluer, which means that we might start experiencing some rain soon. Temperature's dropping even further. The light is starting to dim out of the sky and the clouds are getting thicker. There's been a few flickers of lightning in the distance, and we're now on a back alley road on our way to chase this tornado that is supposed to spawn from this Satanist cell of clouds above our heads. Look at those clouds. There's so many. It's so dark and demonic. There it is. Our first signs of lightning caught on camera from our Hyper HD 4 million FPS super camera.
All right, guys. We're gonna make it go toward us.
Alrighty, looks like we're in prime position to get hit by this motherfucker. Alrighty, lads and lassies, we've got our rain. We've found it. The storm is increasing in lots of lightning. It's very hard to pick up with this HD 4 million FPS camera, but we are getting all of the lightning here. And we don't know where the tornado is, but we've heard several have touched down in the area, and we're going to die soon. Oh, this one's a toughie, but we ought to find it soon. With all this lightning, I will get a couple glimpses of the tornadoes that have touched down around here. I've heard there's maybe as many as 25. Oh shit, there's one now, holy mother of God. Oh my God, that must be like 2 miles wide. Holy shit, it's coming right. Ah! It was really fun going from place to place, recording samples for this pack, but I needed my fucking bed. After a couple days of resting and testing wave files, I continued expanding the sample pack here in Colorado. Mountains. I started by taking my sister and her boyfriend to Rocky Mountain National Park. I really wanted to capture some of the snow crunching, but any snow that was left on the ground up there was not accessible to us since it was all on a steep hillside. Still, the views from 12,000 feet in the air are unbeatable. I love going there. Lastly, I topped it all off with a camping trip, really getting all the nature I could to cap off this sample pack. I was also fortunate enough to get some time at this secluded gun range and recorded gunfire reverberating through a valley area, which are probably some of my favorite sounds I was able to get on this entire trip. How can you get your hands on these samples? There is a way to get them for free, but the best way is just to become a patron. It's $6.50. Signing up there will also get you access to all 6 of my monthly sample packs I've been putting up, which is another 1,600 samples on top of everything. There will also be an extended version of this video for the $10 tier, but for those who aren't interested in Patreon, you can check out the links in the description. Each day is divided into an individual pack for $2, or you can buy all 5 for $7. But wait, listen, for every 100 likes that this video gets, I'll release a day for free. 100 likes, day 1 is free. 200, day 2. Etc. This trip cost me around $700 total, so if we can raise a similar amount from selling all the sample packs, I'll go on another trip to LA and Vegas, or maybe even Florida. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. Go make something cool, or I'll make you eat at the Rainforest Cafe.